So this story, I won't really blame you if you don't believe it. Because I honestly, I'm not really sure if I believe it myself that this happened to me. But if you've been wondering why I haven't really been active on the channel as of late, it's because I was in New York. I went to Comic-Con. Now, for those of you who don't know, Kishimoto, the author and creator of Naruto, went to this year's New York Comic-Con. But the story of Comic-Con for me actually starts way before getting to New York. It actually started for me back in August. Back in August, I honestly felt like shit. I felt like shit. Needless to say, it was girl related. There's this thing that I thought was pure and genuine. I thought we were building towards something, and it turned out to be a complete fucking lie. So I was really, really like fucking sad, and I wouldn't say I was depressed, although I did stop eating and I did stop sleeping. Anyway, I was really down in the dumps. The same day when this thing just falls apart, I get a message on Facebook, and the message is from a viewer, and it says, "Hey Sawyer, I bought a ticket for New York Comic Con, but unfortunately I won't be able to go." Now keep in mind, New York Comic Con tickets this year sold out like this, possibly because of Kishimoto. And so the viewer was saying, if I send you my stuff along with the ticket, can you get this stuff signed for me? But I was still really sad, so, I didn't reply right away. But then, like, as my sadness diminished, I was like, okay, you know what, fuck it, I'll do it. I've never gone to New York, so to me to say that was kind of like, I'm basically taking a leap of faith that things are going to work out. I said, I'll try my best to get it signed. I can't guarantee that I'll get it signed because I don't know what's going to happen. So I make all of the arrangements, all right? I get my ass on 2 planes. I have to, take 2 planes. I go to New York. I get there. The day I get there, I get lost. I'm like Macaulay Culkin because the cab driver, who I can't really understand because they have they have accents and stuff. He's talking to his wife, all right, in his native tongue. I don't know what's going on. All I can tell is from the wife's tone of voice, she's definitely crying, sobbing even. Right? So he gets to a corner and he's like, get out, walk left, walk left. And the thing is, it would have been fine if I had the address for the hotel, but the piece of paper where I had that printed on, I was so excited taking pictures of the skyscrapers that I left it in the fucking cab. Plus, I wasn't even supposed to be walking left, I was supposed to be going right, but the cab driver, he was from New Jersey, so I'm not really sure if he was like too familiar with New York. I don't know what happened. So I must have been walking around for like at least an hour and a half, and I ended up texting my friend back home. I told him, I need you to look this shit up on Google Maps, because I'm going to end up spending the night in an alleyway. Also, keep in mind, my phone doesn't have Wi-Fi. It can only have Wi-Fi if it's near a network that it can access. So he texts me the address, I find the hotel, and after that day was perfect. It was great. I went to Times Square, it was fun. Next day, that's when Comic-Con starts. I get to the convention center and I'm equally as lost because I've never gone to a convention. It's my first time. I don't know. There's herds of people walking in, people lining up for God knows what. Here's the thing, all right? I felt like the organization for the Kishimoto and Naruto related events was horrendous, all right? Just straight up horrendous. Because I felt like they made it seem as if you get a ticket to Comic-Con, you will see Kishimoto. And that is far from the truth. You needed to buy your ticket for Comic-Con, and then you would need to know. I think you would have needed to do your research before even showing up, so that you would know exactly where to be, at what exact time you would need to be there, and you would also need to be one of the first people to be in line, to be able to get like these wristbands that they would give you. So if you didn't get the wristbands, you were essentially fucked. So I felt like that was a very low blow to a lot of fans who just bought their Comic-Con ticket specifically to go and see Kishimoto. Anyway, back to day one. I was lost, so I was just like, I'll probably just go and stand near the information booth. And that's the thing too, like you would ask the staff members and they wouldn't know like how to help you. They would say, go over there, or you see that guy over there, ask him. And then that guy, if you actually went and asked him, they would be like, oh, you need to go ask them. They sent me to you. What the hell? So I'm just standing there, super confused. I feel like I'm Luffy setting sail with a little boat by himself, not knowing what to do, and then the boat starts to sink and shit, and I'm like, help me! All of a sudden, I hear this girl say my name, Sawyer7mage. I turn around, I'm like, Do you know? I have no idea what I'm doing here. Could you help me? Thankfully, she was there with her family, so her and her family became my navigators because I had no idea what I was doing, right? So we got the wristbands for the Kishimoto panel, so I got to spend pretty much all day with her and her family because I would have been lost without them, right? And I got to meet some of you guys too, which was really, really cool. Some of you guys recognized me. If you're watching this video, hi. Later that day, okay, we find out that there's going to be a raffle for a Kishimoto private signing thing that they're having for 100 people. So they're giving out numbers to people, right? And they're going to pull out 100 out of a hat or something. And if your number gets pulled out, you go and meet Kishimoto. So my friend and I, we get our tickets, we get our numbers. And her mom and her brother didn't want to go. So they actually end up giving their numbers to us. So that increases our opportunities to win. We come back and see the results of the numbers posted. And I'm looking at my ticket going like, yeah, I guess I didn't win. And my friend is like, no, 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 no. Your number is up there. Look at the board again. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I won. So I have one of the winning numbers. And I see these people giving out these fucking wristbands again. And I'm like, shit. If they're giving out wristbands, that means that only one of us can go. That means that my friend won't be able to meet Kishimoto. And her mom was telling me how, like, you know, that was essentially her childhood. The thing here is that Naruto, for me, it was never really like a part of my childhood. I came in late to the Naruto fandom. I mean, don't get me wrong, it became a huge part of my life and I really like it, but it was never, that's why, like, when it ended, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of sad, but, you know, life goes on. But for other people, it's like the meaning of Naruto, it's just, I can't begin to understand what that means for people. So I turned to my friend and I'm like, take the ticket. Like, you should go. You should go. As long as you get the stuff that I need signed for the person who gave me the Comic-Con ticket, you know, we're cool. So we went to the panel and we got to see him draw Naruto and Jiraiya live, which was really cool. But he did say that he had forgotten, like, how to draw Jiraiya. Because I guess it's been so long since you've actually, you know, drawn the character. And if you went there, you could get like this booklet that has like art and stuff and a poster. And it also has a copy of the first chapter of Gaiden and chapter 700. So that was kind of cool. The thing that pissed me off about the panel, though, is that they were prepping us. Like, if you want to ask a question, you need to follow these rules and shit. There was no time for questions at the end of that fucking panel. Nothing happened. Like, nobody asked a question. Nobody got time to ask a question. And then the guy, the moderator of the panel, the way that he was saying Naruto was getting on my nerves, because he would say Nardo, N-A-R-D-O, according to him, Nardo. Anyway, and then he made something up. He's like, oh, Kishimoto-sensei, did you know that Naruto is not just, Naruto, sorry, it's not just like the best, one of the best-selling manga, it's also one of the best-selling works of fiction ever. I'm like, first of all, if we're talking about manga sales, One Piece has it beat. Like, One Piece has everything beat. That's a fact. And Kishimoto knows this. And so I love that Kishimoto is so humble, because when the guy told him that, Kishimoto was like, I didn't know that. Kishimoto was like, that's news to me. I didn't know that shit. Yeah, because you're making stuff up and you can't even pronounce the main character's name right. After the panel, we find out, unfortunately, that the people who won the raffle for the private meeting with Kishimoto can only get one item signed. And it's not something that you bring with you. It's something that they give you. They give you like this cardboard artwork of Naruto, and that's the only thing he will sign for you. So I'm like, shit, I need to find another way of getting my stuff signed for the person who gave me this Comic-Con ticket. So my hopes were down at that point, all right? Because even though my friend told me, oh, I'll get it signed for you, it's like, I mean, you should have something to remember that moment by. Anyway, I was like, what am I going to do? Like, this is not going to work out. My odds of getting stuff autographed aren't looking really pretty right now. So I'm sitting there on the floor with my friend's mom, because she's getting in line to go into the private meeting. All of a sudden, I see this group of cosplayers. There's like a Sasuke cosplayer, a Sakura cosplayer, Sarada, Boruto, I think a Naruto one, whatever. And they're all huddled up. They're coming in, like, forming a square and shit. I'm like, what's going on here? And I realized that the reason why they're formed like a square is because in the middle of the square is Kishi freaking Moto. And so they're walking towards me, and I'm like, how does that make sense? Why would they be walking towards me? I don't get it. And then they make a left, slightly, right? And then I look over and I see the sign. I'm like, shit, like, I'm sitting
right where the entrance to the bathroom is. And so they're escorting Kishimoto into the bathroom. I thought to myself, maybe this is some type of a sign. Maybe this is all happening for a reason. So I turn to my friend's mom, all right, and I tell her, "Do you have a pen? Give me a pen. I have to get this autograph for my friend, for the person who gave me the ticket to be here." Before I get into the bathroom, I see the cosplayers outside because actually all of them are girls, so they can't go into the men's bathroom. And I'm looking really fucking uncomfortable because I don't know if what I'm doing is right. And one of them tells me, "Do you want to go to the bathroom?" So I'm just like, so I get in there, all right, and I wait. I fucking wait. There is a line to go and wash your hands. 2 lines, actually. So I pretend to be in line, and Kishimoto lines up right next to me. Not behind me, but next to me, all right? So I turn to him, and I show him, like, the comic and the pen. I'm like, "Kishimoto." And my dumbass starts talking in English as if he could understand me. But like, "I need you to sign this for my friend." I should have said, "Nakama, Nakama." So he looks at me, and he just goes like this. Because he does that a lot. He's just like, yeah. He just nods and stuff. Because I'm not even sure that he understood what I was saying. And I guarantee that if he was there alone, he would have signed that stuff. But there was like some bodyguards who I didn't even know were bodyguards. They're like, "No, no, no. Come on, bro. Come on, dude." Long story short, I got kicked out of the bathroom, essentially. And at that moment, I just felt like utter, complete shit. I felt like the universe had literally just given up on me. Because I couldn't get this for my friend. I had lost somebody I cared about back in August. I was so done after that. I was just like, I can't believe this fucking thing just happened. I'm like, what is going on? But you know what? Looking back on it, I didn't do it for myself. I did it to get an autograph for somebody else, right? And I didn't give up. And, one of the things that Naruto teaches us is to never abandon your friends and to never give up. So in a way, it's kind of like Kishimoto forced me into that bathroom through his manga. So I'm just sitting there, like really sad, outside of the bathroom. All of a sudden, I see this wheelchair come up. This wheelchair, this black wheelchair, right? And the girl on the wheelchair, she's with a group of people. She says, "Sawyer?" They recognize me from YouTube. I tell all of these people the story of what just happened. They start laughing, and then they tell me, "We actually have an extra ticket to go meet him tomorrow at a bookstore, Japanese bookstore." The thing here, though, is that the girl in the wheelchair, she doesn't normally use a wheelchair, but she had her knee busted up, so she needed to heal. And then she says, and this came in slow motion. The way my brain processed this, it was in slow motion. "Do you want to go and meet Kishi with us?" So I'm like, yeah. I just need to get some stuff signed for somebody else. So that was like, I mean, you want to call that a coincidence, but holy shit, that was like, by the way, the girl in the wheelchair, her name is Marie. I also met Erica and Derek. And so they had extra tickets, and we met up at Comic-Con, and then we took the subway to go to the bookstore. Marie, she doesn't normally use a wheelchair. It's just that her knee was busted up. So she has crutches. So we're going, to the bookstore on crutches. We're all happy and shit. Yeah, we're going to go meet Kishi. We get to the line, and there's this dude who tells us that the tickets have to have the name of the person who's going to go in, and they need to match your ID. So what that ends up doing is that you can't have other people buy you a ticket because then all of the tickets are under one person's name. So you have a shadow clone jutsu of tickets, all right? So the ticket that was supposed to be for me, it couldn't be for me because I never did that process. I never typed in my name or anything. So if you had an extra ticket, you couldn't give that ticket to somebody else because the ticket is still technically under your name. Anyway, I didn't get to go in to see Kishimoto, but I had already met him in the bathroom. And I was able to give these people, these people that saved my life, essentially. Oh, by the way, they were all Naruhina. They told me, we're all Naruhina. The Naruhina battalion that came riding in that day, riding a white horse. Technically, it's a black wheelchair, but it's pretty similar. And they needed to be Naruhina because, no offense, I don't think a lot of Narusaku fans would be jumping at the bit to try and meet Kishimoto. The Naruhina battalion came in there and literally You know who you are, Erica, Marie, Derek, you know. You saved my life with that. So thank you so much. Marie even had like a special like shirt printed out. It had like the kissing scene from Naruto the Last. She went and talked to Kishi. I think she was gonna say something like, thank you Kishimoto, Kishimoto sensei, arigato. I wasn't really planning on bumping into anyone from YouTube, but I did bump into Double Four there at the bookstore. He was there with his camera, getting some footage. I'm not sure if he got something signed. Hopefully he did. We had pizza and stuff. And then later the group that I was with, and I think him, went to go see Boruto the movie. But I needed to leave because I needed to see New York. It was my first time in New York. I wanted to go see the Statue of Liberty. You know, just landmarks. And I eventually got to do that. So I gave up Boruto to explore New York. No, seriously, like some of the security at the bookstore, the people who were like giving out the wristbands, they were kind of assholes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they were acting very shitty towards fans. As if the fans were like the enemy. Like, the only reason why Naruto is so popular is because of the fans, right? And in fact, they were acting so shitty that one of the people who worked there told us, you know what, I actually saw what happened, and I thought the way that they treated you was complete bullshit. But even beyond that, I can tell you that this is one of those trips that I'm always gonna remember, like for the rest of my life. I had a blast. Things didn't go the way I expected them to work or to go, but I still had so much fun. It was just such a memorable experience. The first time in New York, the first time I met Kishimoto. Even though it was in the bathroom, maybe that memory will stick with him longer though. Now the following two things that I'm about to show you go to the person who gave me the ticket to go to Comic-Con in the first place. This is Naruto Volume 1, signed by Kishimoto. And then this is the board that you would get signed. I like how it's signed in gold. So you have Masashi Kishimoto here, the date, and then right over here, the person's name. Now there's only one thing that I get to keep for myself from this, and it's a volume. And I was on my way to the airport and I looked at my bookshelf and I thought, out of all these volumes of Naruto, which one would I want him to sign if I given the chance, right? So I picked this one because, first of all, the art for the cover is fucking amazing. Second of all, the emotional implications of this scene, this moment, are big, not just for the series, but just for people in general. Because if you think about it, that's what a lot of people just want. You know, they want to have some form of this in their life, like some stability, a family, somebody to love, somebody that loves them, etc., etc. So I got it signed by Kishimoto, and I'll probably treasure this forever. This is probably going to be like the longest video I've ever uploaded just because I had so much stuff to talk about. And even then, I could still go on for at least half an hour about like the details and stuff. Sorry. If you could leave me a thumbs up, that would be great. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below with your thoughts. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And a huge shout out to those of you who I met in NYC. That was great.